And we're live. Hey everyone, I'm Marco. I'm one of the founders and co-mentor here at the Firehose project, and I'll run you through our info session today. Before I dive in, give you a little bit of overview. I already received a whole bunch of questions from you. So if you have any questions, feel free to either email me or put in a little chat box next to the video, and I'll answer the questions right then afterwards, after I've gone through everything. Now let's dive straight in. What are we covering today? I want to talk a little bit about why are we doing this. I want to talk a little bit about our intro course, our bootcamp prep course, how to get accepted into the Firehose project, and I also want to run you through our entire full program, talk about algorithms, talk about web applications, talk about our agile team project, talk about our job prep, and how all of this fits together and what kind of support you're having. And then, as I said, I'm going to answer your questions at the end, so fire away. Let me know what you want to know, what questions you have, and I'll answer them. All right, let's dive straight in. I always want to start out talking about why are we doing this, right? And I think there's two main reasons why we're doing this. Why software engineering? Why we're learning to code? Why we're growing that? And the first one is like that software engineering, web development in general is an extremely in-demand skill, right? If we're looking at how many positions are open there throughout the US, throughout the world, and how in demand that is, every company right now needs developers on team to build product, to build something that is on the internet, that is online, being an application, being even a simple website, but mostly it's an application, a web application, an app for your phone. And that demand, that growth is not going to slow down. There's a saying that software is eating the world, and that was true several years ago, and is even more true today, and it will be even way more true than that several years out, right? And the second point, and I think that's oftentimes even more important, is that it's an extremely fulfilling profession to be a developer, right? Building tools, building applications that help people have a better life, have a better experience, connect better with people. Whatever it is that you're building, it is going to touch a lot of people, and helping so many people do something better, or have a better life, or have a better experience when they're online. That is something extremely fulfilling, and being at the center of this, the person who actually built that feature, actually built that application, that's something to be really proud of, right? So it's huge demand, huge growth, and then you actually like make people's lives better, and you have that fulfilling job. And that's something that the combination I don't see in a lot of other professions out there. Now you also want to think about, right, like the companies that are currently having products out there, how they change the industry, how they change the way we're living as people on this earth, right? You're thinking about Airbnb, all of a sudden you can rent strangers' houses. You're thinking about all the way down to SpaceX, who builds reusable rockets who can eventually colonize Mars, right? All of that is built by software engineers, people who write code. So being part of that wave is something that's awesome, and I hope you agree with me on that, and I think that's why you're also here, because you want to be part of that wave. Now, let's jump in and talk a little bit about our intro course, right? First 2 weeks is our bootcamp prep intro course. And that's when we teach you the fundamentals, right? We want to build a portfolio page, get familiar with HTML, CSS, and we're going to dive into Ruby and have you write the first few Ruby methods, functions, and get like a baseline understanding of how to actually program and run some simple commands, and then actually solve coding challenges. And throughout the entire intro course, which is free first 2 weeks, right? Totally good if you jump in, just want to test it out. And I know a lot of people who are watching right now are actually in the intro course right now and coding up a storm. If that's not you, you should go to thefirehoseproject.com right now, sign up, and start under 2 weeks free. And if you need another week or two, there's always a way to extend so you can keep going. So if you're a bit busy, sign up anyway so you're in and you have your spot in our intro course. Now, the rest of the intro course, right, the support that we're giving, if you ever get stuck, we have a forum there. Take a screenshot of your error message, put it in there. We help you out. And we also do consistent code reviews, right? And that's how we determining who we're going to accept into our full program, right? We have you submit your splash page. We want to make sure it's hosted, it looks good. We have you submit Ruby challenges, and we're going to make sure that your code is running accurately and everything is good. And we give you feedback on that consistently, because that's what you're getting in the real world as well. Now, once you're through the intro course and you solved all the coding challenges and you've gotten the thumbs up from us and a few other developers, we accept the full program. You can choose a starting date. Could be the following Monday. That's on Monday, which is when we start students into the full program every Monday. Or it could be several months in the future. It's totally up to you. Once in the full program, we have kind of like these two strands that go in parallel. And one strand is the web application development. and the other strand is the algorithms and the data structures. So the web applications, I start with that before I go into the algorithms. But know that both of these strands merge together and prepare you for our Agile Team project, which is running for another 8 weeks, where you build an advanced web application as part of a team. Let's start with the web application first. So we're starting out building a pretty simple app that takes quotes that get stored in the database. We randomly pull them out. We show them on the homepage. Something pretty simple. We make it mobile first, so it's nice and responsive and looks good on desktop, tablet, and mobile phones. So you can share with your friends, family. Everyone can add some quotes, and they get randomly recycled and shown. Looks pretty neat. We put a lot of design effort into it too. So the front end and the HTML, CSS looks really solid. Takes a few days to build, but it'll give you a really good overview over Ruby and Rails, how the web application frameworks works, and how all the moving pieces of the web application work together. Then we move on to the next step. What we build next is a Yelp clone. So that's a location-based application. And the key feature that we're doing there is we want to get pins on maps for whatever locations there are. And you can actually customize that application, and that's what our students have been doing, right? So we had anything from meditation spots in New York City where it's quiet to the best kids' playgrounds in London, best climbing spots across the US. We made it about pizza places, but we're probably not as creative as some of our students, right? So you can customize that and basically build a platform where people can come, put in an address, we write the code to get the longitude and latitude coordinates for that address, and then place a pin on the map. And then obviously we need to build more than that, right? We need to build user authentication, log in, log out, user registration. We want to have user comments, right? Star ratings. We want to send automated email notifications. If somebody gets a comment, climbing spot, kids playground, park, dog park, whatever it is that you're going to put on maps with that app. We also build a simple user dashboard where there's some metrics for each of the people who actually put something on our platform. That takes several weeks to build. And we're moving on, and next we're building a two-sided marketplace. When I say two-sided marketplace, right, it already gets a little bit more complex because now we have instructors on one side and students on the other side. So we're building an educational marketplace, but you can make it of anything you want. Again, you can adjust that app to whatever you think is exciting or you're passionate about. We made it about online education because we're excited about that. So building two-sided marketplace, instructors can come up, they can build video content, upload the lesson, have lesson subscription there, and students can come as well, browse the content from multiple different instructors, and then purchase whatever they think is interesting. And at that point, that's an important keyword when we say purchase, because that means we need to know how to actually handle credit card and debit card transactions directly on our platform. To do that, we integrate with an API from Stripe, and then we can actually accept money going through our platform, so we can pay if we want our instructors, we can get a cut as a platform owner, and we learn that. And another really interesting feature that we're doing in the two-sided marketplaces, it gets pretty complex because we need to understand on a database relationship table which student paid for what course, which student has access to which course, and figuring all that out is what makes that app a lot more complex than the previous apps that we've done before. Now, next up, we're introducing test-driven development. Test-driven development is the bread and butter of developers. That means we want to write automated software tests that make sure that each feature that we're building is working the way we intended to and is not broken. And doing that through tests, we're using a tool called RSpec to write our tests, is what you have to do in the real world every single day. You do not want to manually click around and make sure that everything's still working after you ship something live. You want to test that automatically so you have confidence in your feature that it doesn't break anything else that's maybe tangentially related to the feature that you're shipping right now. So you run your tests. Test-driven development takes you one step further, where we write software tests first before we build the feature, then we're building the feature, and then our tests passing. That's another step forward, and it's the industry standard, and that's why we're teaching it to you. After that, we're doing a deep dive into JavaScript, right? Before this was all Ruby and Rails, and now we're building an application with vanilla JavaScript from the ground up. And that is important because at this point, you understand Ruby really well. really close to mastering it. And then we're diving into JavaScript, and JavaScript becomes a lot more easy to pick up and get to a level where you're really proficient in JavaScript. And you're also going to learn how to integrate JavaScript into an existing Rails application to improve the user experience and the user interface for each of your apps as well retrospectively. These are all the apps that we're building. And in parallel, we're having you go through the algorithm training, right? That starts out similar to what we did in the intro course. Again, if you haven't started with the intro course, go in, sign up, start coding on the intro course. And then in the algorithm training, we're using the similar coding challenges that we have in intro course when we write Ruby code. But they get a lot more complex really fast, and they get all the way to its search algorithms, sorting algorithms, anything you need to build an advanced web application. And that's a training that goes in parallel with the web application, kind of these two paths that converge towards the last 8 weeks of the program when we have you join an Agile team project. And that's what I want to talk now, is the Agile team project. Agile team project is you and 3 to 4 other students together with a senior web developer or CTO that will be the technical lead for your team project, right? That is one of our mentors. Your one-on-one mentorship sessions comes and runs your team project. And that team project builds an advanced web application the same way it is done in the real world. And that is as part of an awesome team. So we're teaming up and we're building a chess game inside of a Rails application. Now, a lot of people usually tell me, oh, Marco, chess game, come on, that's not that exciting. But when we talk to our senior web developer, mentors, senior software engineers, when we talk to CTOs and VP of engineering and ask them, what would you think if you would hire somebody, if they built a chess game instead of a Rails app? They all came back with, that's awesome, because that is really complex to pull off, especially on a team. And if we're thinking about it, how many rules there are in a chess game to enforce, how to write that logic, how to figure out how to automatically detect checkmate, for example, how to do the castling moves, how to make sure all the moves on a chessboard for all the different pieces are valid. That's a lot of logic, and that's a lot of different ways how we could go about building that. And that's what makes it challenging. Now, doing that as a team will also teach us how to be efficient in the web development workflow and be part of a team, right? That means pair programming, that means coding critiques, that means accepting feedback from your team, improving, refactoring your code, and putting it back up there and then getting accepted. That means writing tests. Remember, test-driven development is the bread and butter. And knowing how to integrate that into web development workflow is key. And then when it comes to actually landing a job, that is exactly the experience that will make you the person that stands out in any interview, because what do technical hiring managers and CTOs and VP of engineering looking for is somebody, a candidate who can hit the ground running. And if you can demonstrate, which you can because you've done it for full 8 weeks, how you actually work together with a team and build something, they can see that you hit the ground running. Obviously, this all goes into your coding portfolio, detailed how you wrote your business logic, how you wrote your tests, how you reacted to coding feedback, and which code you build on top of it to make your code better, and then pass muster in the code review section, and then the feature got shipped to the live production on the server. And demonstrating that is going to be what you want to do in a technical interview, because that shows, hey, I'm a high impact employee from day one and I can hit the ground running. And that's why the Agile Team Project is so huge. And if I'm looking around other coding bootcamps, I don't see a fully dedicated 8 weeks of team project happening anywhere. So you're always going to be competing against people like from the Firehose project who have that experience and they can show off when you cannot. And that's like something that don't really see happening anywhere else. So definitely know that the group project is hugely important and crucial if you want to switch careers. Now, also have I'm just checking if I have some questions. Cool, there's just a few emails coming in. I'll get to them in a moment. If you have any other questions, feel free, email them to me and I'll answer them as well. Now, I also want to talk about our job support, right? Actually, today we just launched 52 new lessons, an entire track that gives you a detailed step-by-step outline of how to go about the entire job searching and job preparation. It touches anything from like how to brand yourself. We have partnerships with online reputation management systems in our jobs track. We interviewed recruiters from places like HubSpot. We talked to mentors, what matters to them when they're hiring, and we put all that intelligence into our job preparation to give you the tools to know where to look for jobs, how to present yourself, and how to go about the technical interview. And we also have a ton of additional computer science topics in there, so you never have to stop coding, and you can deep dive in that as well. So that's like a whole new addition to our Firehose project platform, and we're just giving it for all the students for free. If you sign up, you'd get it too. Okay, let's dive in. See if we have any questions. Let me quickly check on the YouTube page if we've gotten anything, or if I've gotten any new emails as well. Give me a second while this loads here. All right, there's a few questions here. Awesome. Let's go in. So one of the questions that I get, like, are you teaching algorithms as well? Yes, we're teaching algorithms. I just explained that, right? There's these two paths that we have, the web application, and we also have the algorithm track where we teach you algorithms and data structures. So definitely that's one of our cornerstones. It's really important for you to understand algorithms and data structures, because that is one of the fundamental skills that you have to build something that's more complex. And in the real world, what you get hired to do is to solve complex problems through code. And that's how you practice, and that's how you train for that. And that's why we're building something really advanced in our 8-week agile team project, because it actually takes those skills that you learn during our algorithm data structure training and applies them to something real, where you build a real application. Now, another question, I get this a lot. How long have you been doing this, right? We have been doing this for, I think, around 3 years right now. We started with actually teaching hundreds of students in the classroom. So we were like Harvard Business School, Babson University, Carnegie Mellon University. Where else were we? We were at Rhode Island School of Design, Brown University, and we taught web application development in the classroom. We took everything we learned from there, from teaching hundreds of students live and in the classroom, and put it into our web application, into our online learning platform. And when I say that we engineered our platform to make things click for you, that's what I mean. We tested how do people actually understand complex technical problems, how do they learn, what works best, and then we took all these lessons and baked them into our online learning platform. Good question. And yes, we taught at Harvard multiple times, and eventually we're going to go back there. But right now we're focusing 100% laser focused on making our online learning platform the best it can possibly be. All right, this is a question I always get, like, why are we different, right? It's totally valid question. Happy to answer them. I think there's 3 reasons. The first one is the depth of the curriculum. As I said before, I don't see any other program out there that not only teaches you the web application development, the algorithms and data structures, and gets you through an 8-week agile team project, and all that combined with the quality of the web applications that we're building. You don't get that type of depth of curriculum anyplace else. Also, you're learning Rails, Ruby, JavaScript, 2 programming language, 1 web application framework, and you're getting the full job preparation track on top of that now too. The second one are our mentors, right? These are senior web developers. I see that happening over and over again, where your mentor is somebody who just graduated from the bootcamp a few months before. We don't have that. They're senior web developer mentors from places like Shopify, eBay, PayPal. They have years of experience, and they know how to prepare you, and they give you honest feedback and evaluate your skills consistently. And that goes together with our entire support system, right? We have a forum. If you ever get stuck, if you're spinning your wheels, you get help really fast, either through our Slack channel or our Q&A forum below underneath each lesson. So you don't waste your time spinning your wheels waiting for a mentor. You actually get help the moment that you need it. And then when you come to mentorship sessions, we can deep dive into algorithm training, writing some complex tests, building an additional feature on top of your existing web application, or maybe focusing on a passion project throughout a few of the mentor sessions as well. And the last one, I think, is our community, right? If I'm looking at our students, they're always active in our Slack, on our community pages. They're helping each other out. They pair up doing a group project, and before as well, they go into group projects. and the meeting in person as well on Ruby, in Ruby meetup groups, on Ruby conferences, Rails conference, web developer conferences, and they also maintain several open source projects, as well as running lightning talks where we all come together as a community every about 6 weeks and give talks about technical topics that are interesting to our students, and that students are actually giving. So giving back, and our alumni come a lot of times to those talks as well. So yeah, these are the 3 reasons, right? The depth of the curriculum, the quality of the mentors, and then the community as well. Now, I think those are pretty much all the questions I received. So yeah, this was super fun. I did one more quick check if I gotten any other questions, but I think we're good. So yeah, thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you guys in the intro course. If you haven't done so, again, sign up, code with us, let us help you out, let us give you feedback. Thanks so much for coming, thumbs up, and I see you coding with us on the platform. Take care, bye now.